Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another live stream. So it is Thursday, the 4th of July. And yeah, of course, we are going to run through the Bitcoin technical analysis, right? Today, we have had another pullback in price, which yeah, of course, really isn't too good for the market. However, we've actually been expecting this, right? We've been expecting this for some time now because, we've been looking at this bearish Elliott wave count, right? And of course, we will briefly talk about that today as well, okay? But we have been looking at this bearish Elliott wave count, and we are very, very close to completing that wave 5 of this bearish Elliott wave count, right? And we know how powerful these Elliott waves are, okay? And we know how many times that we've used them in the past as well to help us with trades, right? Okay. And we can see that over the course of today, we have had another pullback, taking out this low here at around $58,200. And we have come ever so close, right? Ever so close to that end of wave 3, which is the range low, of course, okay, at $56,415. We actually front run this level today. We front run this level by like 200, a little bit over $200, right? So we're ever so close to tapping that range low, okay, and completing the wave 5 for this bearish Elliott wave count, right? And my view and my standpoint at this moment in time is still to look for lower prices, right? Still to look for lower prices because we have front run this level. To be honest, I'm still very interested in seeing price actually just take out the level, right? I understand, yes, we can front run the level and we can see a rise towards the upside, but for me, it is still, more probable, in my opinion, that we will come down and we will actually take out $56,415. Now, there is, of course, an invalidation of that, and there is a level that I could possibly actually take a long from, which is not from $56,415. And of course, we will talk about that today as well. But yeah, before we get into all of that, please make sure that you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, of course, if you're new, and turn that bell notification on so that you never ever miss another upload. And yeah, again, we will jump straight on into the analysis and yeah, just see what is going on, really. So yeah, first of all, we have had a lot of shorts coming in, okay? We have seen a lot of shorts coming into the market, right? So over the course of today, we have seen about 28 million new shorts coming in. And at the same time, we have seen 45 million long trades getting wrecked, okay? Why have we seen these long trades get wrecked? Well, because we have come below, right, a key like liquidity level, right, below this $58,200 level approximately. We know, right, that anybody that longs here, okay, anybody that actually longs here would have their stop loss but below this low right here as well, okay. And for me, I originally had my stop loss below this low, right? So I was one of those traders that had their stop loss below the low, okay. But what you have to remember, okay, is taking profit is a very, very important thing in trading, right? And what we saw is this rise up to value area low, where what did I say to the team, right? What did I say to the team on the Visionary Discord, right? Where were we here? Okay. So I said to the team, as we were coming into this value area low, right, I said to the team, just took a TP1 on the long from the daily market update on the 24th of June as price was testing the value area low of the range. As you can see here, I locked in a TP1, and then what did I do, right? I moved my stop loss to entry. Okay, moving that stop loss to entry, making it a risk-free trade, right? So I'd move my stop loss from here, okay, all the way up to the entry price, which was around here. And a lot of traders don't do this. Okay, a lot of traders don't do this, but also a lot of traders would have long the highs up here as well, meaning that yes, right, their stop loss would either have to be below this low here or below this low here. Most likely. Okay, of course we don't know for certain, but we just know there is a very high probability that their stop loss is like a tick or two below the previous low, or like a major pivotal point, right? And initially, right, that's where I put my stop loss as well. But I understand, right, once I start to see price rising and I get to a TP level, okay, it's always a very safe bet to move that stop loss to entry and just making it a risk-free trade. But the majority of the market don't realize this, okay, and they leave their stop losses where they are. Okay, and they don't take profit when they're presented these opportunities. Okay, price does start to reverse on them, and then they come down and they hit their stop loss here. So that's why when price came into this level of $58,200, okay, what did we see? Right, we saw 45 million long trades getting stopped out. Okay, you can visibly see that. Right, let's just go back to that. Where are we here? Yeah, so you can visibly see that in this candle right here. Okay, open interest, massive decrease. Okay, negative delta minus 45 million. Okay, so we know that 45 million long trades got stopped out here. Okay, and we could argue, right, and this is what I was talking about at the start, where there is a possibility where I could take a long trade, right, and we could argue, right, that yes, right, we could be getting some absorption here. Okay, we could be getting some absorption here. For me, I haven't taken a trade off of it yet because I haven't seen everything that I wanted to see. Let me just double check where the naked point of controls are. I don't believe we have a naked point of control down there. No, we don't. Okay, so we could argue, right, that there is some absorption coming in here, okay, because we saw 45 million new cells coming in, like cells into the market, right? Because 45 million longs got stopped out, meaning that when their long stop loss gets triggered, it means that they have to sell back into the market, right? So it's long covering, selling back into the market. And initially, right, you would think, okay, price would continue because that is a lot of sells into the market, right? 45 million sells into the market is a lot, okay, and that can move the market by quite a lot. But what we actually saw is that price actually just had that rise towards the upside as the price as all those long stop losses were getting triggered, right? So we had all of these long stop losses getting triggered, but price actually started to rise afterwards, okay, indicating that there's probably a big player here. Right? There's a big player that has absorbed the 45 million short sells into the market, okay? And price initially, after that, you would expect price to start to rise, okay? Because there's no new short trades coming in and all the long trades have been wiped out of the market. So there's no more selling pressure coming into the market, right? So the only direction that price can go in is either sideways, right? Or, okay, if you start to see longs coming into the market, you can start to see price rising. Or, okay, and this is what we have right now, okay, if you have lots of shorts that shorted just a little bit higher, okay, that then become offside, then become off water, underwater, what happens to them? They become emotional, they become fearful, okay, they have to exit their positions, right? By doing so, they're buying into the market, right, and pushing the price higher, adding fuel to the fire, pushing the price higher, Okay, and that's kind of what we have at this moment in time. So this is what I'm um, like remaining aware of, okay, and just waiting and just remaining patient and waiting to see whether we're going to start to see these short trades actually become offside or become underwater and possibly start to cover. If I start to see that, right, my thesis of coming down to $56,450, okay, will kind of be invalidated for a short period a short period of time in my eyes. Okay, I think that we even if we did see a rise here, okay, if we're going to remain in this bearish market structure with these lower highs and these lower lows, okay, I still think yes, we're going to take out the level, but in the short term, we could get a rise towards the upside to form another lower high before, taking out that low that I initially want to see, right? But we've got the absorption here. We know that the absorption is here. We know that there's a big player here, right? So yes, there's an aggressive entry here for a long trade, right? For me, I just want to see a little bit more confirmation, right? I want to see like a failed auction of this level where we then start to see. Okay, let's just increase the. Let's just go to 20. Make it a little bit easier to see. I'm going. Sorry, 50. Right, there we go. Right, let it make it a little bit easier for us to see. Right. So here we had 28 million new short trades coming in. Okay, and we know that the majority of these shorts are in a profit right now. Okay, other than the small amount that opened up here. Okay, there's a small amount that opened up here, and they are right. Okay, in some profits. Okay, they are in some profits as of right now, but if price starts to rise, okay, and you can see here at the POC, you have 13 million new short trades that came in at 58,575. Okay, if right these 13 million start to become underwater, they start to become emotional, right? You would expect price to actually start to rise off of that. Okay, because you understand that when these are underwater, they're going to get emotional, they're going to get fearful, and they're going to get scared out of their position, right? And that's going to add fuel to the fire. And you're most likely going to see positive delta with decreasing open interest. Okay, so if price starts to rise and we do form that failed auction, right, this is where I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, we've had absorption down here. We're now forming the failed auction, and we've now got a lot of these short trades actually offside or underwater. Okay, and this is where we can think to ourselves, right? Okay, we're probably going to see a lot of these short trades start to cover now, right? So we could actually look for a nice long trade off of this, okay, and to see a move higher. Now, again, right, going back to what I said, I'm not looking to take this. I wouldn't be looking to take this trade to all-time high. I'm not looking to even take this trade possibly up to this high here at 63,700. Okay, I would, be remaining very cautious in this long trade because I understand how bearish we are at the moment. I understand, yes, we could possibly see price rise, all the way back up to maybe the mid range of the parallel channel. And yes, right, maybe we front run this level, okay, and we just never tap the level, right? I understand that's a possibility. We've done it quite a few times before. Okay, at this moment in time, I'd still expect the level to be taken out. Okay, but initially, right, if we start to see lots of these short trades covering that opened up in this candle here, right, this could give us a really nice opportunity for a nice little long trade. Okay, where we could look for like a maybe like a 1 to 2. It depends how high price goes. Okay, if price does start to rise from here, I would actually be looking at this as like maybe some sort of range. So I would view this kind of like this, right? And say to myself, right, okay, we could look for a TP1 at the mid-range. We could also pull like a fixed range as well. And let's just see where the POC comes in there as well. Okay, so the POC, comes in at, like $61,500. Okay, so, those could present us with some really nice, like, take profit one levels, okay, TP1 levels. So yeah, that's kind of something that I could be looking at, right? But only if we start to see those short trades becoming offside. Otherwise, I'm not really interested, and I would just be looking for lower prices, where I'd be looking for the more like higher probability trade setup, where I want to see price breaking this to complete wave five, right? Because remember, we're still looking at this bearish Elliott wave count, break that wave five, loads and loads of shorts opening up, loads of longs getting stopped out, okay, but price then starts to rise, forming the failed auction. Then we know, okay, absorption is occurring here, okay. After we form that failed auction, okay, we can see, right, are lots of short trades, okay, trapped down here. We've got lots of trapped traders down there. If we do, okay, then we have a solid argument to actually enter into a long trade, okay, and look for higher prices, okay, because we know, again, going back to what I've been talking about here, if we have a lot of traders offside, a lot of traders underwater, they become emotional, they become fearful, okay. When they do that, they have to buy back into the market by short covering, which is, of course, going to push price higher, adding fuel to that fire. But only, of course, if we get that absorption there, because if we see lots of sells coming in, we see lots of longs getting stopped out, it could, indicate a big move towards the downside, right? So yeah, I'm still aware of this. So I'm just remaining patient, waiting to see kind of what plays out, right? And if we do finally complete wave five, right, we are going to be looking at that ABC correction as well, so that can help us with that possible long trade as well. We can be looking for like an ABC correction, which could of course then turn into a 1 2 3 4 5 bullish count, right, which could possibly take us up to all-time high, right? So we could get a really nice long trade from here all the way up to all-time high, because remember, we're just range trading here. That's pretty much what we are doing. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. At this moment in time, I don't see any reason to enter into a long trade. I'm not a super aggressive trader. Like institutions, right? That institutions are like, they're super aggressive with their entries, okay? So they will buy at a high liquidity level, right? They will put their buy limit order at a high liquidity level like this, okay? But we don't know that, okay? We have to look for that. We have to hunt for it. We don't know where their limit orders are, so we have to like find it. We have to look at the orders, look for where the absorption is occurring, okay, and then we can kind of like assume where their big limit orders are, okay, through the absorption, okay, and then once we see price start to rise a little bit, okay, and then we see lots of longs or shorts offside, right, then we know that they're going to have to cover. Then we can get into the position, okay, and take advantage of all of those traders actually getting wrecked. I did see that a comment came in. Let me pull up the chat quickly. Eric, good to see you back here. Good to see you back. Hey, AJ, we have low volume gap between 56,000 and 50K. Does it mean price could drop very fast if we lose 50K level? Yeah, definitely. So a good way to look at that is the VPVR. VPVR. Have they changed the name of it? Oh, that was the wrong one. I swear it was called the VPVR. Where are we? Okay, so let's have a look here. All right, so let's just look on like a daily time frame then. Okay, so there was quite a good example on, if I zoomed out like this, to be honest. Okay, so yeah, exactly, right. So we have like we have like a volume gap. Okay, we have like a volume gap here. Okay, you can see this big volume gap right here, and you've got this big spike in volume here, which is where we actually currently are at this moment in time. And what you can see within this like entire range here, okay, we are at the value area high. Okay, if we actually let me just get rid of that for 2 seconds, and let's actually just pull up a fixed range for this range here. Yeah, so we're actually at the value area high of that. Which we'll talk about in a moment as well, because that's quite important. But yeah, bringing up the VRVP. I swear it was a VPVR. They must have changed the name of it. But yeah, you've got this massive gap, okay? And where we are right now is on this big high volume node, high volume area here, okay? And that is currently, of course, support, right? You can see that we previously used it as support here, got that big bounce up for then the lower high, big move back down. We're now testing it once again, okay? So we are finding strong support here. But yes, right, if we start to lose this level, okay, this like high volume level here, then you've got this big gap, right? And there isn't much interest here, right? It means that there isn't much interest here, okay? And yes, right, we could see a big move down to like 47,000. I would say more like 51,700 first. For me, that's where the more of the support comes in. And if we zoomed in as well, we can see that as well. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let it update itself right here. You've got a big, you've got this volume spike. If we're looking more locally, right, we've got this big volume spike here. Okay, and that's coming in very close confluence with, if we bring up the POCs, okay, at $51,727. So yes, right, if we lose like $56,400, okay, we do have, and you can see it here. It's not as clear, okay, but we do have this big gap here of like no volume whatsoever. So yes, if we lose this level, okay, I understand we could get a quick move down, okay, to this like high volume node here, okay, and that is where we have that kind of like next level of support at 51,700. Okay, for me, it's not a very strong level, and like I've been saying for quite some time, right? If we lose that level, okay, 51,700, I would expect $43,000, okay, all the way down here. And yeah, taking a look at this VRVP, you can see there is just not much volume in this area whatsoever. And then you've got that high volume area there, okay, at this previous range that we have there in confluence with that POC at $53,000. So yeah, if we lost $51,700, this is kind of where I would expect price to go, and go pretty quickly as well. So yeah, you're correct on that, right? You're 100% right on that. Like if we lose 56,000, okay, then yes, I think we could come down to like 50, between like 52,000 to 50,000, right? That sort of like range, okay. If we lose that, okay, then it will be like 43,000, okay. So yes, definitely, I could see that happening. But at this moment in time, okay, we are at support. We have to understand that. Okay, we are at support. Bringing back up the, where are we? Here, no, here. Okay, bringing back up this range. Okay. This fixed range, right? So we are at support, right? We can see here. So on the 8 hour, we're looking at this range, okay? We're looking at this range with, range high up here. We've got range low down here. We, of course, have just front run that range low, okay? But initially, right, this is all support, right? Because range low, we've got value area high, okay, which is previously tested as support as well. So, I mean, if we start to lose this, okay, that's when I get bearish. That's when I like more bearish. Okay, that's when I because at the moment, at this moment in time, like, I'm not super bearish on Bitcoin because I understand we're coming into support. It's only if we lose that where I'm like, oh, okay, 50K is on the table here. That's not an immensely strong support level. So then it's like 43K. Okay, that's when it gets a little bit worrying, right? But at this moment in time, like I can't, I can't think. Of course, I'm aware of it, but I can't think like that. I can't think, okay, we're going down to $43,000 because we are at support. Okay, we've got the value area high. Okay, we've got the range low. Okay, so there are support levels here, and of course, what's the majority of the market right now? Okay, the majority of the market is bearish. Okay, so if we are to see, is this going to load? There we go. I hate this with the fixed range volume profile. I wish it just would stay on the chart. I wish it didn't have to load. But yeah, we've got perfect confluence there, right? We've got the value area high of the massive weekly range that we are in, okay? And then we also have the range low of this 8 hour that we're looking at as well, right? So there is, again, like I've been saying, support. So if we see mass shorting into this level, okay, and we start to see a little rise towards the upside because there's a big player absorbing all of this, all right, and then we get the failed auction of the level, right, then that would signal to me, right, okay, we could actually see a big move up here. So for me, like, there's no reason to get extremely bearish at this moment in time unless, right, we start to lose the value area high of the weekly range and the value and the range low, of the 8 hour range. Okay, if we start to lose that with like open interest increasing, positive delta, then for me, like, yes, right, we're looking for lower prices, and it could be a pretty quick move down as well. A very quick move down because like you said, Eric, okay, we have those volume gaps, okay, and what you tend to see within these volume gaps is when there is a gap, you see price move through it pretty quickly. It doesn't happen all of the time, but it happens the majority of the time. Okay, so yeah, that's what we would initially expect. Damien, good to see you back here. Took profit, closed short at 57. Pretty happy. Now waiting for that 56K long. Yeah, congratulations on that short trade. That was a really, really good short trade. And so yeah, congratulations on that. And yeah, I know. I mean, like, yeah, taking profit at 57,000. That was very close to the low, and then you've had a rise towards the upside. So that was a really, really good take profit point as well. And I mean, it's I do it sometimes as well where I'll actually set a limit take profit, okay, before my actual take profit level, because sometimes we do see these front runs, right? So if I did like take the short from here, okay, of course I would have been looking to take profit on the way down. So on the way down, I would have taken profit at these like major pivotal points, and of course, like this $56,400 level would have been like another TP for the short trade, right? And initially, it would have kind of been like my final TP for the short trade if I took the short trade from up here. Annoyingly, I didn't take the short trade. I wish I did. I did unfortunately miss it. But if I did, okay, sometimes I do like to put my TP, okay, just before the level, because I understand we see it a lot of the time where we do see front runs of levels, and I mean, it's like an example here is I took this long trade here, okay, we saw a rise towards the upside. I was expecting all-time high. We got the pullback, okay, we had another rise up. I was I was certain, right, that we were going to come up to all-time high here. But we didn't, right? And then I realized, okay, we're actually looking bearish here. So I took a short trade and I took profit on another TP on that long trade, right? But yeah, sometimes it is actually good to take profit before a major level because we do see front runs of levels quite a lot, and quite a lot recently as well. So yeah, it is always important to take profit and never to get too greedy, right? And it was a $200 move from where we front run and to the actual level. So yeah, it's always get too greedy. That's kind of what I've been saying to myself a lot recently, because we have been seeing these front runs of levels. So yeah, if you're happy with the profit, okay, and a lot of the time, I like to screenshot my trades that I'm in, because I like to put it into my journal, right? And I always say to myself, like, if it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to take a profit, right? If you're happy to screenshot it because you like what the profit looks, what the profit looks like, right? That's a good TP point, right? So that's a very important thing to think about, right? Um, no fear, just take that long. Yeah, exactly, right. The majority of the market, right, is going to be very, very fearful down here, very, very fearful. And what we have to do is we have to look for the fear. Okay, that's what kind of like drives markets. Really, the markets move mainly because of fear. Okay, and again, I say this quite a lot, that retail traders don't really realize that they are the ones that do move the markets. Yes, you can say institutions manipulate the markets, right? But all they're doing is they're just participating, right? They're putting their limit order there, and they have enough capital to absorb a lot of the markets like shorts, or a lot of the markets longs, which, yes, do initially start a reversal, right? They do start a reversal, because then what happens is, like, shorts get exhausted, and long stop losses get totally wiped out, and the vice versa as well. Like, longs get exhausted, and then the short stop losses get completely wiped out. So there's nothing to keep price going in that direction. So with that big limit order, they absorb it all, okay, and then price starts to move the other way, and then everybody has to cover, okay, all the retail traders have to cover, and then that's what really moves the markets, right? The institutions aren't out there to destroy you, okay, that's not what they're doing, okay. They do that, but they're not out there to do that. They're just trying to participate in the market, okay. It's then the retail traders, and this is what they know, okay. Then they're not like they're not like, how shall I say this, like they do want you to do it, but they kind of at the same time don't want you to do it, because of course, like, I'm sure they're not completely evil people, and they don't want everybody to lose a load of money, but they kind of just rely, institutions, they kind of rely on those retail traders to get fearful, get emotional, and get out of their trades, and then that's what moves the markets. And yeah, it's just, yeah, retail traders don't realize that, and they just think like the institutions are out there to get them, but they're not. The institutions are there just to participate, and they take advantage of the retail. They just take advantage of the retail traders, okay. And it's fair game, right? You're all in this market for yourself. So yeah, it is fair game. You can't you can't tell them that they're doing something wrong, because they're literally just participating in the market and letting the retail traders do the rest of it. At 55k ish, the long for 55 700. Yeah, I remember you were looking at the 1-to-1. So you were looking at that 1-to-1, which on my chart is 54 500. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not like I don't know how aggressive you like to trade, but I'm not like a super aggressive trader. I don't. I wouldn't set a limit order at this level, okay, at $56,400, and just expect price to rise. I'd wait for a little bit of confirmation. I'm not a conservative trader, but I'm not like a super aggressive trader. I'm kind of in the middle, but kind of, I'd say, a little bit more on the aggressive side still. But yeah, I just consider myself an aggressive trader, where I would wait for like a failed auction and a little rise towards the upside. So I'm not looking to get I'm not looking to catch the low, because I always think that's you're trying to catch a falling knife there, and I do like to. I do like to short the highs and long the lows, but not the exact highs and the exact lows. I understand that it's pretty impossible to do that. So what I do is I wait for the price to pull back. Then I wait for a little bit of confirmation where I see, okay, a lot of trap traders down here. And then I'm looking for that rise. So yeah, maybe I would enter into the trade at like $57,000 rather than below at like maybe 55, like you said, maybe 55,700. Just because I'm not a super aggressive trader. Of course, everybody has their different styles, and your style for yourself may be to be a super aggressive trader and enter into the trade at $55,700. For me, I like to wait for just a little bit of confirmation. I'm not looking for a market structure change because for me, you've missed too much of the move, and you're increasing the risk because your stop loss has to be below the low. And if you're waiting for the market structure change, then you're waiting for higher prices, right? And then you're looking at much higher prices. Your stop loss is below the low, your entry's here, right? Whereas, if I'm looking for a simple failed auction, my entry could be here, so I'm, taking out all of this risk as well here. Okay, so I'm minimizing and mitigating that risk as much as possible. Okay, of course I'm not completely wiping out the risk. I still have risk in it. Okay, but I'm trying to mitigate it as much as possible, and that's the same when I'm trying to enter into a trade as well. I'm trying to look for the most confirmation that I feel is necessary to try and mitigate that risk as much as possible. I think if you look for too much confirmation, you're increasing risk. But if you're also not looking for enough confirmation, you're also increasing the risk as well. So I like to be like in the middle of that. Again, like if you're waiting for too much confirmation, you may think you're looking at more of a higher probability trade because there's more confirmation, there's more confluence, just more confirmation, more confluence. But then you have to think, okay, if you're waiting for more confirmation, more confluence, you're getting a worse entry on the trade, which means if the trade does go against you, there is a bigger difference between your entry and your stop loss. So that's how I kind of view it, and I think, right, okay, I'm just looking for a little bit of confirmation. I just want to see where those retail traders are wrong in their decision and are getting emotional. Okay, in my trades I thrive off of traders getting wrecked, right? I literally thrive off of that. Okay, and that's how you guys should view the markets as well. You should thrive off of people. It sounds horrible, I know, but you should thrive off of people losing money. But again, like I said, right, you're all in this market for yourself, right? You're all in this market on your own. Everybody is it's a free for all, right? This market is a free for all, and you have to take advantage of people losing money. That's the only real way. And like the short trade I took from up here, what was it? It was 79 million new long trades came in at the high of the candle, and price started to pull back. And for me, it's like, right, you've got 75 million new long trades coming in here. Why are you longing up here? And then price starts to pull back, and then you're like, they're all underwater, they're all emotional, they're all fearful. Okay, and knowing retail traders, they're just going to exit those trades, or they're going to have their stop loss too tight, okay, or that maybe they do have their stop loss at like a lower price, but that just means that when we get down there, it's just going to push the price even lower. So yeah, it's like, just focus on taking advantage of. It's horrible. Focus on taking advantage of where the majority of retail traders are getting wrecked. And that tends to be when the majority of traders are trading a breakout of a level, and then you're initially looking for a fake out, really, right? Again, the same thesis here. I can't remember on this one how many short trades. I have a feeling. I can't remember. I have a feeling was it like 80 million? I can't remember, but we had like, yeah, it was a large amount. It was a large amount. Let's call it 80 million, roughly. But there was a large amount of shorts opening up here. Price started to rise. Okay, they became underwater, right? The short traders, okay, the short retail traders here, the retail traders that shorted, they got completely wrecked, right? We took that long trade, okay, and took advantage of those traders getting wrecked, right? So, I like to reiterate that a lot on this channel, right? You want to focus on taking advantage of traders getting completely wrecked, right? And that was like a major pivotal point in my trading career as well, where I established that, because I was once the retail trader that shorted this. Right? I was once the retail trader that longed a breakout and shorted a breakdown. Okay, I was once that, and I learned pretty well. It did take me some time to learn it, but I learned the hard way. Right, I learned the hard way by losing a lot of money by trying to break out trade. Okay. And we're seeing it here as well. We're seeing lots of shorts. What did we have? We had like 28 million shorts opening up here, right? And a lot of them, right, at this moment in time, they are in the green, okay? They are, in some profits. But as price starts to rise a little bit, they're going to become offside. They're going to be underwater. Okay, they're going to get emotional. They're going to get fearful. It's just gonna push that price higher. So yeah, like I was talking at the start, if we're gonna form this failed auction here, maybe we start to see some longs coming in. That's when I'm kind of interested in. Okay, right, we front run this level. We're getting a lot of emotional short trades here. Okay, so we could actually start to see a rise towards the upside. So yeah, just I'm just remaining patient at this moment in time, and waiting and seeing, really, because I do initially expect 56,400 still. I do expect that, but it doesn't mean we can't have another rise here before another drop, right? So yeah, maybe we could take advantage of this rise before another drop towards the downside. So we will see. There are some famous YouTubers shorting a breakdown now. Not a good idea, I think. Yeah, exactly, exactly. There are probably a lot of them. Personally, I don't watch any of them, but they're probably. I would, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there were a lot of, yeah, a lot of YouTubers out there that are shorting breakouts. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And like, it doesn't mean to say that breakouts don't work, because like they do sometimes. If we're looking at if we're kind of looking at this, if you're looking at this as like a two, let me just put up the settings and extend that right line here. So you can see, like, you have like three touch points here. Okay, so you have this one here as well, where we had this little tiny bounce towards the upside. So you have three touch points here. Then you have a breakout. If you shorted this, right, you're in the green right now. Okay, you've made some profits there. But then if we take a look at another example, and this is one which I can tell you a lot of the market would have got wrecked on, and we can probably visually see it as well. But this, right? Where should we take it from? Look how many touch points we had on this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touch points. Okay, and what retail traders are thinking here is, okay, we've tested this level so many times. It's like knocking on a door. Eventually someone's gonna open the door. This is like something that I used to think back in the day as well. And they would have initially, okay, longed this possible breakout, right? They got a rise towards the upside, okay. But knowing retail traders, they would have thought, oh, we're going much higher. We're going to $66,500. We're going all the way back up to $72,000, okay. So they wouldn't have taken profit on this move, but also, right, their stop loss would have had to be below this low here or below this major low here as well. So the invalidation is quite large as well. Okay, so their risk to reward on this trade would have been pretty rubbish, even if they did take profit here. Okay, and as you can see, price started to roll over, and we got this big pullback, right? So that's a big one where I would have expected a lot of retail traders to have actually longed that breakout, and we can probably actually visually see it as well. So Um, yeah, we had 18 million longs coming in there. We had 22 million longs coming in there. So yeah, initially retail traders are longing a breakout here, right? And then what happened up here? What happened here? Okay, we saw loads of these long trades getting stopped out. Okay, because we had lots of negative delta. Okay, 33 million negative delta there, 45 million negative delta there, with open interest decreasing on both of those. So we know that like everyone that longed on this breakout here got stopped out there. So yeah, that's just like a perfect example of it, right? Perfect example of it. YouTubers are driving liquidity to short. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Weekends have been generally bullish. Yeah, I mean to be honest, yeah, weekends recently have been very flat, and that's what you would expect with a maturing market. Um, but then, yeah, let's have a look because I was looking at this, and we did actually start to see rises on the Sunday afternoon. Um, what did we see this weekend? We saw a pullback, I remember. So we had the weekends, of course, just flat price action, and then the pullback. Um, what about the weekend before that? The weekend before that, so just flat price action over the course of the weekend, and then the move up. So that was kind of maybe that's what you're looking at there, Damien. But we had this here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong in that. To be honest, yeah, you're quite right. So we had this weekend here. What about this weekend here? Yeah, okay. So it's kind of just the weekend that's just been. Oh, and yeah, so the past 2 weekends, right? Yeah, the past 2 weekends we've seen price pull back, but like the previous weekends before that, um, yeah, we've seen a rise. Of course, we were just seeing a big rise generally anyway. Think like a retail and do the opposite. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Think what retail traders are doing and do the opposite. Okay. And you can look at EXO and order flow anyway, and you can see what retail traders are doing and do the opposite as well. Exactly. That's a really good saying. I love that. I love that from you, Eric. Um, you can draw a decent parallel channel from 72 to 64 from June. Let's take a look at that. Um, so 72k to 64 from June. 72. Is it a decent? Is it a parallel or a descending? Where 64. So I'm guessing possibly. Is it a descending that you're looking at? From June. 72k to 64. Diagonal descending, yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of figure out which pivot point to take it from, really. But yeah, I mean, initially we do have this. Yes, we definitely do have this, and you can see we've actually found support here. We're getting this bounce, right? And this could line up with what I was saying with, if we possibly form like a failed auction here, we could get a nice possible little long trade up, right, to the. I've got that bottom wick at 58 ish. Yeah, there. So I guess you taking it from. from there. Yeah, that could make more sense as well, to be honest. Either, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could look at it. You could look at it either way. It's all personal preference, right? But yeah, say we were looking at it like this. This could line up with right. Okay, right. Anyway, actually, let's yeah, not what's going on here. Let's not focus on because it's a little bit yeah. There are two like places you could pull it from. So yeah, you're not wrong for pulling it there whatsoever. Like from 58K, yeah, because you've used it as support all the way back here as well. Um, but I feel you could also take it from there as well. Um, so it's a little bit harder to determine that. But if we were to just look at it like if we were just to look at the range high of it, kind of like this, we've got this. If I am to look for a long trade here, it could be okay. We do have resistance here. We could reject off of this. That could be like the TP1. So that's what I'd be looking at it for. But initially, right, diagonal descending parallel channels, you would consider that you do kind of consider them bullish. You do kind of consider them bullish. That's kind of like what the textbook definition is of it. It is kind of bullish, but yeah, we will have to see because we could actually, if we draw it in again, if it's like say we did come down to. Say we did come down, so if we pull it from where you pulled it, Damien, yeah, if we did come down here, we could actually, wick down to it, test its support, then come back up, break out of it, and get the big move up towards the upside, right? So, yeah, that is a possibility, right? And again, like I was saying, this is, in technical terms, like by textbook definition, sorry, yeah, this is a bullish pattern. But yeah, we know how many times that these textbook patterns, okay, tend to like fake out, right? So we could see like this, right, and we come back down possibly. So yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that could add a little bit more confluence to it. Yeah, not too focused on it, but yeah, it's definitely there. It is definitely there. But yeah, I mean, what's currently going on now? Let's have a look here. So we're currently using the session VWAP as resistance. We're finding it quite hard to get above this session VWAP. Yeah, dead cat bounce. I'll raise it. A break even for stop loss. Yeah, that's always a really really good idea. And then a 1-to-1. Yeah, that's always a really good idea. If you take a TP1, I don't do it all of the time, but yeah, a lot of the time I will move my stop loss to entry after taking a TP1. Sometimes I won't. It all depends on the trade, really. It does all depend on the trade. And yeah, it depends on like various factors, right? Risk to rewards, what the market can, or how the trade is going, like what the conditions are within that trade at this moment in time. Like, are we seeing the follow through that we want to see? If we're not, then yes, I will TP1 move the stop loss to entry. If we are, then yeah, I don't see the need to move it to entry. But yeah, it kind of all depends on the trade, really. It does kind of all depend on the trade. So we're seeing lots of longs closing actually on this rise towards the upside, which is, yeah, just nothing really going on right now. Let's have I got so at these lows, we did actually have, yeah, we did actually have a lot more shorts coming in at these lows than we had long trades. Um, yeah, not by a lot, but we did have a yeah, we did have more shorts coming in down here. So yeah, it's kind of like more confluence for like if we do get the long setup, we could look for higher. But again, like I'm not going to enter into the long trade at this moment in time. I want to wait to see if we do get that failed auction. Value area high also. Yeah, the value area high. Are you talking about the one that I'm looking at here with the weekly range? Because yeah, that's just like that's perfect support, right? We could get that nice bounce up, but yeah, if we lose it, not looking good. If you're English, you'll know the meme of yeah, not looking good, bruv. Yeah, if we lose that value area high, it's not looking good, bruv. Yeah, if I could put a meme on that, it would be that meme. Yeah, losing that value area high would really not be good. So yeah, for our hodl portfolios, we would like to see that failed auction for the long setup, take it back up to all-time high. That's what we want to see, right? For our hodl portfolios. But then again, like on all of this move towards the upside, I can quite confidently say I have, I have made some really nice profits. Okay, and I mentioned this in another stream as well. I trade with USDT. Okay, and I any profits that I make, right, once I get to like a certain level in my trading account, what I'll actually do is I'll de-risk my trading account, where I'll the majority of the time I'll like split my trading account in half, and I'll take out half of my um, my capital out of my trading account, and then move it, okay, into a hodl portfolio, and I will actually buy Bitcoin, but only when we see a big move down. Okay, so then that's kind of like my savings, right? I'll push that to the side and I forget about that for a number of years. That's what I like to do. So I never actually hold in my trading portfolio anyway. I never actually hold a lot of Bitcoin. I just have that in my hodl portfolio, and I literally sit on USDT because I'm not just like a medium term swing trader. That's kind of what I'd consider myself, and a day trader, a medium term time frame swing trader, and a day trader. I also like to invest for the future as well. So I like to sit on a lot of USD and USDT, mainly USDT, because a lot of my portfolio is built up of crypto, to be honest with you. But yeah, I like to sit on a lot of USDT, until, right, we get a big drop, and then I will transfer all of that into Bitcoin or something else, whatever it may be, Ethereum, maybe some stocks, maybe the S&P, maybe the NQ, right, whatever that may be. And that's exactly what I did on yeah this move up here. Okay, and this was a lot of it was kind of luck with this, right? A lot of it was kind of luck. And then on this move down, like I did lose a lot of money on the start of the move down. Okay, and then in this like portion here is when I like really understood what I needed to do to actually start making profits in the market. And then on this move down, like I was making good money, and I was sat on a nice amount of USDT. And then that's when I thought, okay, right, the market isn't going to go down much further. And you've heard me talk about this as well, the CVDD floor. And this, once we tap that, okay, I was like, right, okay, there's no point in being sat in USDT for much longer. I may as well just enter, because or enter into like a large Bitcoin position here, spot Bitcoin position, because we know how reliable this has been in the past. Okay, so yeah, that's when again I said previously that I bought the most amount of Bitcoin I've ever bought at that level there. And yeah, for my whole portfolio, that's done really well. But again, I have taken some profit off of that, not a huge amount, but I have closed out some of that, because I understand, right, we're initially coming into resistance, right, because we're at the previous bull market's all-time high, so it is going to be resistance, right? So I have closed some of that whole portfolio, and I am prepared, okay, to buy more if we do get a bigger pullback. But initially, right, I would expect another rise towards the upside, okay, initially, okay. At this moment in time, if we start to lose these major levels that we're at this moment in time, okay, lower prices is going to come. But yeah, I also like to invest for the future as well. Okay, so that's why I do sit on a lot of USDT, and then when we do see these big crashes in the market, or we do get these bear markets, right, I will load up. Okay, I will start to buy things. Right. I think people are overestimating. Is that supposed to say overestimating? Overestimating the impact of ETFs. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take some time for it to all play out. I think the ETF is extremely short-term bullish, okay, because we saw price rise off of it. I then think it's bearish, okay, but then in the medium term, I think it's bearish, but then in the long term, I think it's very bullish. So yeah, I think it's very bullish for the long term. But yeah, like medium term, I do think it's bearish, right? I don't think it's going to do much for the market whatsoever. Get a fractal from April 2023 to November and overlap it. Looks very similar from April 2023. April 2023 to November 2023. April. No, sorry, that's 2024. What am I doing? April to November, did you say? Yeah. Let's do it to the end of December then. To current dates. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we, yeah, definitely. Um, Again, right? What happened on this wick down here? Okay, that was just flushing out everybody. Okay, flushing out everybody from the markets, right? Flushing out all the long trades. Okay, everyone that was over leveraged. Um, okay, everyone that was long from the highs, right? Flushing all of those out. Okay, it was that kind of like last flush before we just went. Okay, the last flush before we went. So yeah, I mean that's yeah yeah yeah, that's really nice. Like that's kind of what we could be seeing right now, um, where we get kind of like that last flush out of the market. If this is how you were pulling it, if that's how you were looking at it, because I understand back there we did take out the high here, and then we got the pullback, which where we are right now, we haven't taken out the high. We didn't actually take out the high there, but initially, yeah, it's pretty similar. We could take out the low and then off to the races, right? Yeah, wouldn't quite say 110k, possibly. I don't know. Um, yeah, but that's a possibility. Definitely, it does look very similar. Yeah, so that's kind of what we could have, right? We could have that. Where's it gone there? We could have that like last flush out, um, before we then get that parabolic move up to the moon, right? That's kind of what it could be. So yeah, and again, that would line up with what we're looking for, right? That possible swing failure, failed auction of the range low. Okay, for that move back up, right? So yeah, that's yeah, definitely something to be aware of. So yeah, let's go back to the 8 hour. Yeah, still just no movement really right now. But yeah, anyway, I think I will leave it there. It is 7:30 here, so it is time for me to go and get some dinner, and it is also time for me to go and feed my dog as well. So yeah, I will leave it there. Thank you very much for joining, team. It was really good to see familiar faces here. Eric, good to see you back here. Damien, really good to see you back here as well. Yeah, thank you for the interaction. Thank you for putting your input into the chat as well. I really enjoy it when I listen to your guys' input into the market as well, because yeah, it's always nice to see what other people's inputs are in the market, because you could learn things off me, I can learn things off you, right? As a trader, I see it as you're never going to be a perfect trader. You can always learn something new. So yeah, for me, it's always nice to hear what your guys' input into the market is as well. So yeah, again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a lovely day. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow for Friday's live stream. If you haven't already, please smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe, of course, if you are new as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward